Good morning, Kal Kadosh. We're going to be continuing with Daf Lamedalad Amud Aleph 34a1. Okay, so now it says over here like this, Amai. So says the Gemara, right, why is it that you have to bring the Eruv to the place where you want to dwell before Yom Tov? Neima, why don't we just say, since if you wanted to, you could have brought your Eruv there during Menesh Rashot. So even though you didn't actually take it there and you left it in your house, it's as if that you took it there. Meaning, if I have the possibility to do it, remember, Yom Tov I'm allowed to carry. So if I have the possibility to do this, so why do I have to actually physically do it? It's enough that I just have the possibility to do it. And even though I didn't take it and I left it in my house, it should still be okay. So why is it that I have to actually take it there to make my shvita there, to make it that this is the place of my dwelling? Okay, that's the question that we're asking. So Amar Bizera says Bizera. It's a gzera Yom Tov that falls out after Shabbat, which means was there you cannot make your shvita during Ben Hashmashot, because since the Ben Hashmashot, which is twilight, between Shekiyah, between sunset and nightfall, since that is a Safek Shabbat, Safek Yom Tov, obviously you cannot take it anywhere. If it's Shabbat, you're not allowed to carry. So therefore, the fact that it's going to be Yom Tov after Shabbat, and the Shabbat you're not allowed to carry, so therefore, I cannot take it anywhere during the Ben Hashmashot of Yom Tov. So because of that, I always have to take it Erev Yom Tov because of that decree. Erev Yom Tov. I have to take it Erev Yom Tov because just in case Yom Tov will fall on Motzei Shabbat and then I can't do it. So therefore, on every single Erev Yom Tov, it has to be Erev Yom Tov. It cannot be on the night of Yom Tov itself. Okay? Everyone understood until here? Okay. So 8b. Yeah, so we're going to ask the following question. Imagine right now you had kavanah to do shvita. Remember, shvita means acquire your dwelling place. So you had kavanah lishvo b'shut rabim, v'niach eruvo b'kotel, and you place your eruv on the wall. So here I'm going to share with you the screen. Here it is. Yeah, here it says. נתכוון לשרוב ברשות הרבים, והניח עירובו בכותל. Yeah, למטה מ10 טפחים. Look over here. You have 10 טפחים. This is the wall. Carmelit. Right? And there's the Carmelit. And now you put it below the 10 טפחים. Okay, למטה מ10 טפחים. Now, עירובו עירוב. The עירוב is a good עירוב. למעלה מ10 טפחים. If it was above 10 טפחים, that's over here. It's going to be above 10. This is the 10 טפחים line. It's going to be above the 10 טפחים. Yeah, אין עירובו עירוב. It's not a good עירוב. נתכוון לשבות בראש השובח, if you had a kavanah, right, to be shovet בראש השובח, that's this case, right? Everyone's with me on the, I'm sharing the screen, you should see it here. נתכוון לשבות בראש השובח, here's the shovach, the chicken coop, okay? And now you had kavanah, right, that, so if it's going to be above the 10 טפחים, or בראש המגדל, or on top of the migdal, is the ראש המגדל, yeah, מ10 טפחים, למעלה מ10 טפחים, עירובו עירוב. It is going to be a good עירוב. Remember, here the 10 טפחים, this is above, this is עירוב תחומין. Okay? Again, over here, the 10 טפחים, this is above. So this is below and this is above. So it all depends on ההלכה. Okay? למטה מ10 טפחים, if it's going to be below 10 טפחים, אין עירובו עירוב. It's not an עירוב. Why? But since you cannot bring it during Ben Hashmashot from the Reshut Rabim to the place where you did it for the Reshut HaYachid, because it's a sur min Torah to bring from Reshut Rabim to Reshut HaYachid, so therefore also during Ben Hashmashot it's a sur. Okay? It's only shvut which is permitted Ben Hashmashot. Shvut means the Rabbanan, which is permitted during Ben Hashmashot. But the Doraitas are prohibited, right, during Ben Hashmashot. So says the Gemara, V'ama'ayna, why? Hachanami nema, why don't I just say the same concept? Yeah, V'ama'inami, hoil. Right? No, there's another one. Right? Hoil v'yachol lintoto, right? V'la'avio l'toch 10. Right? Since I could come and bring it within the 10 tfachim, that's over here, look. This is a Eruv Tchumin. This is below 10 tfachim. Everyone sees it? Below 10 tfachim. I can now take this Eruv Tchumin and I could be lintoto. What does that mean? I'm going to, how do you call this? I'm flipping to the left. I'm tilting, right? This migdal, I'm putting it now on the floor. So now what's going to happen? it's now going to become right? And by doing that, Naasa, right? What happens is Naasa Rosh Migdal Karmelit. So now this becomes a Karmelit, right? It's 4x4.
Yesterday we had with somebody who came and he put it below.
People used to leave it there, so then it became like a Reshut Rabim, right? So here, what's happening is that now you're allowed to take it from the Reshut Rabim to a Karmelit Shot, because that is the Rabbanan. You're not taking it from a Reshut Rabim to Reshut Yachid. You're taking it from a Reshut Rabim to a Karmelit. That's permitted. Look, this is the Karmelit. Here you have it in orange. Karmelit to the Reshut Rabim. That's over here. This is the Reshut Rabim. This, once upon a time, was a Karmelit. Now, by doing it that, I'm taking it from the Karmelit to the Reshut Rabim. So, Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah says, Rabbi Yirmiyah, Hacha b'migdal mesuman askinan. Here we're talking about, right, that it's nailed down. So since it's nailed down, you can't turn it. You can't do anything with it. Okay? Rava says, no. Even if we're talking about there's no nails. Hacha b'migdal aroch askinan. Here we're talking about it's a very, very long one. Right? It's a very tall one. That's this picture here. Okay, look at the tall one. Look how tall it is. So this is a tall one. And therefore, timamti lepurta, because if you're going to come and you're going to incline it a little bit, azil chutz la'arba amot. It's going to come outside of the arba amot. Look, this is 4 amot by 4 amot. Okay, this is makom shvitato. If I'm going to take this tall thing, right, this is 6 amot. So if I'm going to take this 6 amot migdal and I'm going to tilt it, that's this shadow. You see the shadow? Yeah, everyone sees the shadow? So this shadow, if you're going to tilt it, it's going to become outside of the arba amot. So it's a sur. That's why. That's why it's not going to help.
It's like bringing...
right, it's like taking it outside. Yeah, it's like otzah, but you're taking it outside, and therefore the eruv is not a good eruv. So says the Gemara, hechi dami. What are we dealing with? Idi kakavta. If you're going to tell me that it has a chalon, right, that it's got like a window which is open to the place of the eruv on top of the wall, right? Here it says, Dika kafta umatna leiti b'kafta umatna, which means umitna. It says over here, right? And there's a chevel which is kashur me'erev Shabbat. ראשו שני יגעו בבלערוב והמקדש במקום שביתו, הרי אף על פי שבמקום שביתו ברשות היחיד, ועירוב ברשות רבים, לייתי בקבתה ומתנה. He says, just bring it to you, right, with a rope. Right? That's this case here. Look, here you have a rope. Look, you see here the bottle? It's tied to a rope. And here's the window on the top. This is a rope. Everyone sees it? This is the rope.
Internal rope.
Internal rope. This is the window, the chalon. That's what we're saying here. Idika kafta, if you've got a chalon which is open on top of the wall, umitna, and then you have a chevel, a rope which is kashur to the eruv, me'erev Shabbat, and then it's on the outside, laiti b'kafta umitna. So just bring the eruv during menashmashot, right, through the rope. So since you could bring it through the rope, why is it not a good eruv? So answers the Gemara, delele kafta umitna. You don't have this window and you don't have the rope. Okay? Fine. 2 dots. Netano bebor afilu amok me'amah. So you put it, yeah? This is the second Pirush and Rashi. These are just different things. Okay, fine. So it says over here like this.
A pit.
Which one?
A pit.
Yeah. Netano bebor. If you placed it in a pit, afilu amok me'amah, even if it's going to be 100 amot deep, right? So he said it's a good eruv. Ask the Gemara, hi bor de kai hecha. Where's this bor exactly? Yeah, where's this bor? Ilema de kai b'reshut yachid. If you're going to tell me it's in the reshut yachid, in a private domain, yeah? So then what's happening is, all right, lamedala domubet, 34b. So pshita, obviously that eruv is a good eruv, because the reshut yachid goes up to the shamayim, right? It goes up and it goes up to the shamayim. The chiyecha de salkalehel, just like it goes upwards as well, so too it goes downwards. Which means just like in the Reshut Rabim just goes straight up, so too it goes straight down. So this pit is in the Reshut Yachid, the entire thing is in the Reshut Yachid, so it makes sense. Ve'ela, but rather, the Kai B'Reshut Rabim, it's in the Reshut Rabim. Then it kavel nishpot, right, heichas. So where do you have the kavanah, right, to dwell? Ilemala, if you have the kavanah above in the Reshut Rabim, so then he's in one place and the eruv is in another place. It doesn't help. Yeah, there are 2 different reshuyot. Vilemata, if you're going to tell me it's down in the bore, Shita, obviously. Yeah, so then it's in the same place. So we're asking, what's going on exactly? So answers the Gemara, Lo tzicha, what are we doing with the kai bekarmelit? It's in a karmelit. What does that mean? The bore is in a bika, okay, which is like a karmelit. And he has kavanah to be shovet above. Yeah, verebihi, and it's rebi. That anything which is drabanan, lo gazul lo ben hashmashol, which is here, this case. Valley. This was the pet and this was the ruvet chumin. So this was the entire question. This is reshut yachid. So then we said no, but here is makom shvitato is in a karmelit, so it's drabanan. So it's drabanan to take it from one place to another. Okay, fine. Next, okay, Mishnah. So this is the Mishnah on Daf Lamed Daled Amud Bet 34b, the first Mishnah. Okay, but there's two Mishnahs here. First Mishnah says, Netano berosh hakaneh, right? Berosh hakaneh or berosh hakundas. One second. Oh, wow. Okay, that's it. We don't have pictures until Daf Mem Aleph. Okay. Nitano berosh hakaneh or berosh hakundas. If you place a eruv on top of a kaneh of a reed or on top of an amud of a pillar, right? Bizman shehu talush. If the pillar is talush, it's not connected. V'na'utz, and it's down in the ground. It's stuck in the ground. Afilu gavoa mea ama, even if it's going to be 100 amot, arez eruv. It's a good eruv. So says the Gemara, Rami le Ravada bar Matra le Rava. So Ravada bar Matra comes and he asks Rava, talush v'na'utz, right? Talush v'na'utz, which means that if it's going to be separated, but it's na'utz b'karka, it's plucked in the, it's not plucked, there's a better word. It's stuck in the ground.
Stuck.
I don't know, whatever. Yeah?
Inserted
in the ground. So says the Gemara, then fine. Lo talush v'na'utz, but if it's not separated from the ground and inserted in the ground, yeah, no. So Mani, who is this? Rabbanani. This has to be Rabbanan. The Amni, because they said, Kol davar shu shvut, anything because of the Rabbanans, they made a decree during Menash Vashot. So therefore, the isur of using a tree is mid Rabbanan. So you're not allowed to use a tree even during Menash Vashot. So therefore, since you cannot take it from there on Menash Vashot, so therefore it's not going to eruv. The Amar Reisha, but let's see the Reisha. So you just told me that the Reisha is Rebbe and the Seifa is Rabbanan? How does that make sense? Why do we say that the Reishas, because the previous Mishnah was Rebbe. Now you're saying that this is Rabbanan. Now you just told me 2 seconds ago that the entire Mishnah is basically talking about Rebbe, right? Because Rebbe said that it's a Karmelit, and therefore called of Ashu Mishvum Shvut Lo Gazul Lo Ben Shmashot. That was right before the Mishnah. And 2 seconds later in the Seifa of that Mishnah, because it's the next Mishnah, right? All of a sudden now you're telling me this is going to the rabbis. So explain what's going on. It doesn't make sense. Well, the Reisha is Rebbe, the former part of the Mishnah is Rebbe, and the latter part of the Mishnah is Rabbanan. Okay? So Amalei, so he comes and he answers, he says, Kvar Rami le Rami Merchama le Rav Chasta. Already remember Merchama asked this to Rav Chasta. The Shani le, and he answered, Reisha Rebbe v'Sefer Rabbanan. He did answer. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, that is, you're right. That's what we're saying. You have to say that in order that it makes sense. Okay? That's what you have to answer. It's a little bit dachuk, but that's what you have to answer. Ravina Amar, Ravina is going to answer another answer. Hula Rebbehi. The entire Mishnah is Rebbe. The Seifa, Gezerah Shemitom, but Seifa is, it's a Gezerah. We made a special Gezerah. Maybe you're going to pluck off a branch, or you're going to, break a branch off or whatever. And because of that, that's why we said you're not going to have a good eruv. But not because we really, Be'emet Shvut is mutar during Rosh. And that's what Rebbe is paskening. Right? But because of this is so that we don't want you to start, breaking off branches. Okay? Ha'u pulmusa. There was a chabura gdolah of Chayalei Melech. So this is like a whole army, right? A group of an army that they came, right, to Ne'arda. Okay, so what happened? There was so many people, it was very problematic for the Talmidim. So Amalei Rav Nachman told them on Erev Shabbat, Puku v'avidu kivushe kavshe be'agma. Go kofufu hakanim agdelim, right, elu al elu, and make them like chairs in order that you could sit down on them. And then tomorrow we're going to come and we're going to sit down. Yeah, that's what he told them. He says, go to the swamp, bend down all the reeds, like make it like a chair, and then tomorrow we're going to come and we're going to sit down on them. So 8 Ve'ram Meracham Rav Nachman, Asar Meracham to Rav Nachman, V'amar leRavukva Barav Rav Nachman, some people say it was Ravukva Barav to Rav Nachman, Talush v'notzin, lo talush lo. Yeah, lo notes lo. One second, I thought that you told me that you're only allowed to do such a thing if it's detached and it's stuck into the ground. Here, it's still attached to the ground. So how do we permit this? So answers the Gemara, Amalei, Rav Nachman comes and he answers him, Hatam be'uzradin. There we're already talking about kanim, which are already hard. And therefore, since they're already hard, they're like a trees. So therefore, they come into the Yisur of not using a tree, right? But I permitted to sit down on them, right, when they're still soft. And therefore, since they're still soft, they're not like a tree. And therefore, the Chachamim didn't prohibit any of these things on the soft vegetables. It was only on a tree. Okay? If it's hard, it's prohibited, but then it's like a tree. It's soft, it's permitted. And that's what he said. So, how do you know that there's a difference between whether it's going to be hard or soft? The Tana was learned in the Braita, reeds. I don't know how you translate each one of these. Here it says the sugesh shechim v'kotzim. They're like type of thorny type of, I don't know what you call them, bushes, or I don't know what you call them.
They're soft and they're pliable. They're not hard like wood.
That's from before.
They're like vegetables.
Yeah, but tell me about kanin, atadin, vegiyin. What are those? We learned in a Braita. We continued, Richard, right after that.
1 minute. Give me a minute.
Kanin with the din.
We learned in a Braita to do with the reeds.
The reeds and the atad bushes and the higgy bushes. They're varieties of thorn bush.
Yeah, they're thorn bushes. That's what I said. Okay, no, but they didn't actually translate what it is. Okay. Mini lanhen. So they're a type of a tree. They're not kilayim bekerem, which means that you're allowed to plant them in a vineyard. Another one said kanim vakidan. It's a type of a bosem kida. It's like a kinamon, like a cinnamon. Ve'haurbanin, aravot, willow. Yeah, min yereken. They're a type of vegetables. Ve'en kilayim bekerem, and there's a problem. So kashi adadi, it's a stira. What's a stira? The first Braita is telling you that kanim, right? These reeds are a type of a tree, and then it tells you that it's a type of vegetable. So that's the question. So says the Gemara, we learn from here. It all depends if they're soft or hard. If they're soft, so then it's like a vegetable. If they're hard, so then it's like a tree. Okay, Shema Mina. So this is exactly what we learned. So says the Gemara, "V'kida min yerek." Does it exist that kida is actually a type of a yerek, like the cinnamon? So it says, "V'atram." We learned to the Mishnah, "Kilaimel mekivin pegam al kida kidei levina." You're not supposed to put pegam. I don't know what this pegam is. It says here it's a min siach u'mishamshim beilan ketavlin. What is pegam? It says here that you use it like a tavlin. Like anyone there has an art scroll? Alush?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to find out.
What is it again?
Pegam.
Pegam.
Pegam. Let's go back.
You're not supposed to put this pegam, whatever this is, on top of kida levana. No? Doesn't say? Min siach u'mishtamshim be'alav ketavlin. Tipo de árbol, que lo usan, no árbol.
Tavlin, that's what it's saying.
It's a type of like a bush that they use its leaves as a tavlinim, as like spices. Okay, because it's a yerek, be'ilan. So I'm going to papa. Papa says kida lechud ve'kida levana lechud. Kida is stam by itself, is a type of vegetable. When it says kida levana, it's not a vegetable, it's a type of a tree. Okay? Fine. I'm giving you guys more time to look.
Weiter the Mishnah.
Okay. Perfect. Says the Mishnah. Again, second Mishnah, lamdal mubed. Netano b'migdal ve'avad ha'mafteach. Imagine you put it in a migdal and you locked it and then you lost the key. Now you can't take out the eruv. Yeah, you lost the key. It's happened before. People put things in locks and now you can't find it. Hareze eruv. This is an eruv. Rabbi Eliezer says, if you don't know that the key is in its place, it's not an eruv. So it says, why? He's in one place and his eruv is in another place, and therefore it shouldn't help. If he cannot access his eruv, it should not help. So it says, Rav Shmuel both said, We're talking about a migdal of levanim. Rebbe Meir, and it's Rebbe Meir. Which means you could just soter the house of levanim, and then what are you going to do? And you're going to take it lechatchila. The Tanam, as we learned in the Mishnah, Bait shemilu perot satum. What happens if you filled up a house and the house is closed? Which means that during Ben Hashmashot, the Knisat Yom Tov, you cannot get into the house to take out the fruits. Benivchat, and then afterwards, the Kira Bait started coming down, which means that the wall came down. Now you could access the fruits. Notel mimakom achpachat, so you could actually take from that access point. You could take it from there. Rabbi Meir says, no. You could start taking off the bricks and actually access the fruit there, and there's no problem whatsoever. That's a shita.
I didn't get that one done.
Which one?
I got lost.
Basically, we asked that if he's in one place and the Eruv is in another place, it shouldn't be an Eruv. So Rav and Shmuel both answer. We're talking about a migdal of levanim, of bricks. It was like a building of bricks that basically, and it's according to the shita of Rabbi Meir. Because according to shita of Rabbi Meir, right now, if you had fruits inside, so according to the first Tanakama over there, they just said that you're allowed to take from Milkom Pachat, which means that if on Yom Tov some of the bricks fell down, you could take from that hole the fruits, whatever you want. However, though, according to Shita Rabbi Meir, lechatechila, I could take off those bricks in order to get into my fruit. There's no problem. That's Shita Rabbi Meir. So our Mishnah is going according to Rabbi Meir. That since some lechatechila have to come and to access it this way, there's no problem. Okay? So says the Gemara, V'amar Rav Nachman bar Adam Shmuel. Says Rav Nachman bar Adam the name of Shmuel. Ba'avira delivne. We're talking about levanim. Sheyesh b'neim avir. They already have a space in between them, which means that they're not connected with clay, with cement. So therefore, according to the meaning, there's no stira when I take them off. Meaning, if I just put bricks one on top of another, and now I'm going to remove the bricks on Yom Tov, right? I'm not actually doing stira. So that's why Rabbi Meir is modeh in such a case, right? That he says that it's a suli store at amigdal ulotzim menu et eruv. So again, you have a question. Why? Because if we're talking about bavira delivne, right? So then it is going to be a problem. Okay? So only in a place where there's no clay is there no problem of soter, stira, that you're destroying the house, like you're taking down the bricks. But if it's going to be with clay, it is a problem. So answers the Gemara, Chanami, you're right, our Mishnah is talking about bavira delivne. Right? That there's no clay, there's no cement in between, and that's why you're just allowed to take it down. So ask the Gemara, V'amar Rabbi Zera, says Rabbi Zera, he says, B'yom Tov amru v'lo b'Shabbat. I thought that this is only halacha and Yom Tov that you're allowed to do this, not on Shabbat. And as you see from here, that you're not allowed to do this on Shabbat. Okay? So he comes and he says, yeah, Achenami b'Yom Tov, you're right, we're talking about Yom Tov only. So says the Gemara, Yachi, if so, Hainu diktani ala Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Eliezer says, Im ba'ir avad, eruv eruv, which means if you lost the key in the city, it is a good eruv. Why? Because if somebody is going to find it, you could bring it through whether it's the roofs or all these things, and then you could. But if it's going to be in the sadeh, in the field, then it's not a good eruv. But since you can't bring the key home, so that's it. So now there's nothing what to do. Yom Tov, if you're going to tell me it's Yom Tov, mali in mali, what's the difference? Remember, on Yom Tov, you're always allowed to carry as long as it's a necessity. Meaning, as long as it's a necessity, you're allowed to carry on Yom Tov, whether there's no eruv or with an eruv. So what's the problem? Okay? So says the Gemara, 35a1, it's lacking part, and this is what it means to say. If the Mishnah had to say like this, if you put the Eruv in a migdal, and then you locked it, and then you lost the key, this is a good Eruv. But one of these words only in Yom Tov. But in Shabbat, it's not a good Eruv. If you found the key, ben ba'ir ben b'sadeh, whether you found it on Shabbat in the city or in the field, eruv, it's not a good eruv. Why? Because it has to be in the same place, and here you're not in the same place. Eliezer argues, Eliezer Omer, ba'ir, it is a good eruv because you could bring it, as we already said, you could bring it somehow, right? But sadeh, it's not a good eruv because you can't bring it home, and therefore it's going to be in Reshut Yachid and it doesn't help. And then the Gemara continues.
The affair was found in Reshut Yachid.
So says the Gemara, Ba'ir eruvo eruv, why? Rabbi Shimon Damar, right? That gagot, chatzerot, and karpifot, which means any roofs, courtyards, or the storage places, are reshut achat lekelim sheshaftu b'tochan. And therefore, right? And therefore, what's happening is, since it's all considered one reshut, you're allowed to continue going from one roof to another roof, or one courtyard to another.
That's the Chazon Ish. And also, Chazon Ish takes that position. I wanted to ask you, why does the Talmud Chacham say that no to this deal? Reb Shimon says okay, and Talmud Chacham says no. You can't carry the key.
Rabbi Shimon, exactly. Rabbi Shimon
you
says
cannot-
that's what he says, because according to Shitat Tanakama, he doesn't hold of the Sisot. He holds that each one of these things are a separate reshut. So therefore you're not allowed to. But in the Sadeh, en uruv ekruv kerabanan. Which means like this. Let's try to do a chazara one more time. Right? What are we trying to say? We're trying to say like this. If it's on Shabbat, right? When do we say it's a good eruv? On Yom Tov. Because Yom Tov you could carry it. On Shabbat, you cannot carry it. If you found the key, so if it's in the city, right? And that's again the Shita of Tanakama, whether it's in the city or the field, it's not a good eruv. Why? You can't get it to you. So there's nothing what to talk
Why?
about. What? You can't carry.
Yeah.
It's Shabbat.
Well, you get with
There's
the
no
shenui,
eruv.
you put it
There's
on
no
your belt.
eruv.
The Eruv
You
is
put it on
working.
your neck. You put it on
What?
a scarf.
No,
You
there's
make
no
it part
eruv.
of your belt.
There's no eruv. En eruv is there's no eruv. Right? That's what he says here.
Why
Huv
the
eruv
Eruv is
b'mkom
not
shab-
Eruv if the Maftech was found?
But how does he get the mafteach to where you are? You're right now in your house. You found it here in the city, on Harding Avenue. How are you going to get the key to your house? There's no eruv.
Make it part of your belt.
No. Yeah? However, though, Rabbi Eliezer argues, and he says, no, in the city it is an eruv. Why? Because according to Rabbi Eliezer, since he holds that all gagot, chatzerot, and karpifot are all one reshut, so therefore I'm allowed to transfer from one chatzer to another chatzer to another chatzer to another until I get to my house.
Gag or
From the
whatever.
galag to the kappa, after that, until I get to my house.
That's the Chazon Ish.
Which chazonish? I'm lost with you, Richard.
You can look it up.